Welcome back to my views and news. Some new stories for you. Let's start with headlines. First news story is about some Fano fighters and members of security forces who had joined Fano factions. They have been arrested by security forces. Though for the last 2 days we have been hearing speculations that some Fano fighters could be arrested or that some civilians could be shown as Fano members near Debre Birhan. We learned 2 days ago. Then last night we saw a press release, pictures showing Fano fighters and members of security forces who were supporting Fano fighters arrested in Amhara region. Details for you. Secondly, viewers, curfew is in place in a town in the Oromia region of Ethiopia, where reportedly Oromo Liberation Army fighters are posing a challenge to law and order, to security situation. That is why local government decided to impose curfew there. That shows the gravity of the situation. That shows how significant Ola's presence is in Oromia. Thirdly, viewers, we have an update for you from Wegel, Tena, Delanta, where Fano fighters yesterday captured the town, Wegel, Tena. Details for you, more details and update. Fourthly, Eritrean National Cycling Championship starting today. Eritrean National Cycling Competition is a very tough competition. Last viewers, Sudan, Darfur. I have a clip for you of a British Member of Parliament, Vicky Ford, for you. What she is saying is shocking. Ethnic cleansing is being committed. Girls over 12 being raped. Boys over 10 being murdered. Firstly, viewers, let's start with a new story from the Amhara region of Ethiopia, where we know that Fano factions, different Fano factions are organizing themselves. They are getting bigger, local youth joining them, some members of security forces joining them as well. A confirmation from a report by the government. Though I have been updating you that Amhara Special Force members, maybe thousands, have joined Fano fighters because Ethiopian government announced to disarm Amhara Special Force, disband Amhara Special Force a few weeks ago. The same disarmament did not happen in other parts of Ethiopia. In Somali region, in Afar, special forces are still clad in special forces uniforms, but in the Amhara region, special force disbanded. That is why special force members, they refused to obey the orders. They fled their camps. They joined Fano fighters. Some agreed to be disarmed. They're joining regional police, prison police. Some could be integrated in federal security forces too. Now, a press release from local government. Government claims that it has arrested more than 24 members of an extremist group near Debre Birhan. These fighters were based around 5 kilometers away from Debre Birhan in Kokilesh area, in a forested local area. They were based there. They were planning to organize a Fano fighters, getting more support, more recruitments. But in an operation, they were arrested. Debre Birhan is in Shoa, North Shore of the Amhara region, and it connects Addis Ababa with Shoa. The government officials claim that several weapons, thousands of birr cash have been recovered from these fighters. Interesting point which I want to share with you is that majority of the arrested is Amhara Special Force members. Out of 25 arrested, 18 are Amhara Special Force members. 3 Ethiopian National Defense Force members, only 4 Fano fighters. Again, I'm repeating. Total 25 arrested, 18 Amhara Special Force, 3 ENDF, 4 Fano. So you can see now how many Amhara Special Force members have joined different Fano factions you can imagine. And ENDF members too, why are they joining the Fano movement, the Fano factions? Definitely Special Force members were disbanded, disarmed, they refused to agree, they joined. What about ENDF members? Why are they joining Fano factions? Mainly, the narrative which is being built by Amhara Fano is that Amhara people's existence is in danger. That Ethiopian military is led by Oromo officers. It's Oromia PP's army. So those ENDF members who are from the Amhara ethnic group, they are defecting. I don't have exact numbers, how many have defected so far, but if in Debre Birhan 3 have been found, 3 ENDF and 18 ASF, imagine how many have defected in the entire Amhara region of Ethiopia. Now again, 2 days ago we heard that near Debre Birhan some Fano fighters could be shown as POWs as captured by Ethiopian military. 2 days ago we heard. Then last night we saw pictures, videos showing these Fano fighters. Government forces assured them as that they were newly arrested by security forces. Overall, we can say that Fano has managed to reorganize, regroup itself in several areas of the Amhara region. It is now becoming so strong that security forces officials are joining it. It is posing a serious challenge, and on top of that, it is getting public support, like we saw in Delanta, Wegel, Tena, in Dambicha, in Gonda, other parts of the Amhara region. Secondly, viewers, Ola Oromo Liberation Army operating widely in the Oromia region of Ethiopia. We have seen Ola's activities in Western Oromia, Central Oromia, Eastern Oromia, Southern Oromia. In all parts of the Oromia region, OLA fighters have been able to penetrate and carry out attacks. Curfew has been imposed in a town in western and southwestern Ethiopia, southwestern Oromia. Name of the zone where curfew has been imposed is Ilubabor. Ilubabor zone shares border with Valaga. It is part of Oromia, obviously, and it shares border with Gambela too. It shares border with Southwest Regional State. Not a traditional stronghold of Ola, but since it shares border with Valaga, it means that from Valaga, Ola fighters can enter Ilubabor. In Ilubabor, there is a Metto town. In Metto town, curfew has been imposed for limited hours. Vehicle movement is being restricted, Bajaj movement as well. Locals being told that no one can move with weapons, and restrictions on movement of vehicles and movement of people have been specified and shared with the people. Why? Local government has confirmed that it was decided to impose curfew because of presence of Ola fighters in the area. So, it's a rather new development that after the second round of after the first round of talks between Ola and Ethiopian government in Zanzibar, Ola expanded its presence. It tried to hit targets in Asia, Eastern Oromia, and now in Ilobabor. They were in Southern Oromia too. They were largely dormant in these areas before talks. After talks, they reactivated themselves, I think. Ethiopian government said it is committed to holding another round of talks with Ola. Ola says it is committed as well. At the same time, on the ground, we are seeing that Ola's operations are expanding in terms of the territories being targeted by the Oromo Liberation Army. Thirdly, viewers, an update for you from Wegel, Tena, Delanta, South Wollo, where hundreds of Fano fighters took control of Wegel, Tena town yesterday. We saw pictures, videos showing thousands of people marching on the streets of Wegel, Tena, supporting Fano fighters, chanting slogans against Shane, Ola, against Oromia region-based groups. Now, what actually happened is that a protest started in Wegel, Tena after a minor girl, 8-year-old girl, was allegedly raped by a member of Ethiopian National Defense Force. Ethiopian National Defense Force is stationed outside Wegel, Tena. At a camp, Ethiopian military is based. And fighting was already ongoing between Fano fighters and Ethiopian military in the outskirts of Wegel, Tena in Delanta. In Ambasal too, in nearby Warada, they have fought in the past few days. So, Ethiopian army was based outside the camp. One Ethiopian army member was accused of raping 8-year-old girl. The girl's family accused ENDF member. Her father, her uncle said that an Ethiopian soldier raped the girl. The girl is being treated at a hospital. So, against this incident, locals started a protest in Wegel, Tena town. They were demanding that Ethiopian military hand over the soldier to authorities. Obviously, a criminal case is going to be registered. Investigation will be conducted, and for that, the ENDF member must be handed over to the police. ENDF commanders were not listening to the people. People were angry. That is why they took to the streets in Wegel, Tena. They blocked main roads. Then came Fano. Fano was not in Wegel, Tena. It was in the outskirts of Wegel, Tena, in Delanta, in forests. When Fano saw that people had started a protest and Ethiopian military was on the back foot, Fano fighters entered the town. They mingled with the people welcomed them, and then they led the people, you can say. So, basically, Fano very skillfully exploited the anti-ENDF protest in Wegel, Tena yesterday. It's not that Fano and Ethiopian military fought for the control of the town. Yes, they have been fighting in the area, but it's not that Fano wanted to capture the town. Fano just took the right decision on the right time. So, it managed to enter the town. Ethiopian military was not in a position to confront Fano because thousands of people were supporting Fano. What happened after that? Ethiopian military withdrew. The camp, which was near Wegel, Tena, was vacated by Ethiopian military because people were very angry. Some were saying that the camp should be set on fire. It wasn't set on fire. The Ethiopian military withdrew. Fano fighters controlled the people. They did not tell the people to set things on fire, to start a violent protest. So basically, Fano controlled the protest, you can say. They led the protest, but they did not let the protesters destroy any property. And then military withdrew. What about the perpetrator? Arrested or not? It's not clear, but the girl is being treated at a hospital in Wegel, Tena, reportedly. Fourthly, viewers, Eritrea, where National Cycling Championship starting 3-day event on the 23rd of June till the 25th of June. World-class Eritrean cyclists will compete. Eritrean National Cycling Championships. This event is a very tough event. Those who have won international level competitions sometimes suffer at these championships. Why? Because there is so much cycling talent in Eritrea. And secondly, if you want to be rich in Eritrea, you should join sports, you should join athletics, you should be a cyclist. And if somehow you manage to be a world-class cyclist or runner, you can make lots of money. You can travel the entire world. So it's one of the ways of becoming rich as well. Yes, the event is going to be a very tough one. We'll try to update you in coming videos about this National Cycling Championship starting today in Asmara, Eritrean capital. Lastly, viewers, Sudan, Darfur. I have been regularly updating you about catastrophic situation in Darfur, where towns being destroyed, people being indiscriminately killed, ethnic violence spreading, RSF fighters accused of being involved in ethnic cleansing. The ethnic cleansing which we heard mentioned in the neighboring country Ethiopia in the 2-year-long war is now being mentioned in this war too. I have a clip for you of a British member of parliament. Her name is Vicky Ford. Vicky Ford knows this region. She visited Ethiopia too, I think, if I remember correctly. She visited Ethiopia, met with the Ethiopian government when war was ongoing in Ethiopia. So she knows this region, I think. And what she has shared at a parliament session in the UK is alarming. He says girls over 12 are being raped by Rapid Support Force members, non-Arab girls mostly. Non-Arab boys over 10 are being killed. It is a way of committing ethnic cleansing. RSF members are committing ethnic cleansing. Thousands have died, but no one knows the actual number. Now, before showing you this clip, it's difficult for an individual country to intervene in Darfur. Chad or France, it is difficult for them. Why? Because Darfur is a rich area in terms of mineral resources. Gold is extracted, other precious metals too. So if any country unilaterally intervenes in Darfur, he would be accused of eyeing Darfur's mineral wealth. International community can only intervene if there is consensus. And for that consensus, you need to have discussions at some world level, like at UN level, at EU, at IGAD, at some level. And then decisions can be made. So far, no one is talking about intervention. US is frustrated with its attempts to mediate between the two sides. It suspended Jeddah peace talks. It is calling for imposition of more sanctions. It is asking EU to impose sanctions too. IGAD wants that direct meeting between Houthi and Burhan. Sudanese military is not fully on board with IGAD's proposal. It means nothing is expected in coming days in terms of intervention in Darfur. People are dying. thousands will die if there is no intervention. There must be some sort of intervention. Neighbors will have to play a role, otherwise people will die. They are already dying in Darfur. Take a listen to what Vicky Ford said. Thick Forge.
Mr. Speaker, a systemic ethnic cleansing is happening in Darfur right now. Last Sunday, 100 members of the UK Darfur diaspora met. Every person had lost several members of their family in the last few weeks due to a campaign by the RSF Janjaweed to change the DNA in Darfur. This means targeting of non-Arabs. Boys over 10 are being murdered, girls over 12 are being raped. Civil leaders are being targeted and murdered, including the West Darfur governor. 250,000 people live in El Janina. It's been under siege for 2 months. The RSF Janjaweed has destroyed the water sources, hospitals, pharmacies and food stores. We have no idea of the true scale of the casualties, but an eyewitness has estimated that it's already in the thousands, and the SAF is doing nothing to protect people. The city is just 28 kilometres from the Chad border at Andre, where French troops have been seen recently, and UK aid is waiting. But people trying to flee the violence are being shot when they try to escape. El Janina is a strategic gateway for arms and mercenaries entering Sudan, and furthermore, the RSF has a vast gold smuggling network in Darfur and is connected with Russia's Wagner group. Therefore, given that we are the penholder at the UN, what action is the UK taking to stop the violence? What pressure has been put on the warring generals to end the conflict? Has the UK called for an urgent debate at the UN Security Council? Could the French troops nearby, backed by the international community, work to provide a safe corridor for those in El Janina? And why has the UK not sanctioned the commercial wings of the RSF and SAF the US has? Why has the UK still not prescribed the Wagner Group as terrorists? What pressure has been put on the UAE and Saudi Arabia, given the many RSF and SAF commercial entities registered there? And lastly, will the Minister meet urgently with representatives of the Darfuri diaspora here? Will he ensure that the voices of civil society and marginalised ethnic groups are heard, so a comprehensive solution to the problems at the heart of this terrible Sudan conflict can be delivered?